This is a beautiful candy apple red Stratocaster, I think. The twin humbucker at the back in black is unusual. That's part of the HHS series, but they usually have a black and a white humbucker. Everything looks beautiful on it. Everything looks wonderful. I'm only here to adjust it. They may have blinged it up themselves with a little bit of putting that clear tone on it and putting a different humbucker in. I don't know yet. They have blinged up the back. I found a tremolo arm. That's mine. Don't worry about that. They have blinged up the back by putting a different neck plate on it. Skunk stripe neck. The tuners are not Fender. They're Goto. Gotoh. Goto. I don't know, but they feel very good. So I'm going to do some digging so that I can tell you more about it, because I don't know much about this except for it just needs a setup. But is it a Fender or is it not a Fender? And they tell me on the internet that vintage series Fenders, thank you, Georgie girl decides she wants a cuddle. Let me just finish this, Georgie girl. Vintage series Fenders have the truss rod adjustment there, but this is certainly not a vintage Fender. It's too good a condition. They also say that the Goto, G-O-T-O, are Shaler type tuners. They're good quality, but they're not usually on a Fender neck, but they could have been changed. So I'm still digging. I'm going to take the neck off and see if I can find a serial number for the neck. Now, the problem I have is that it's a lovely made guitar. I don't see any faults with it. The neck is beautiful, but I have a feeling it's not a Fender. There's no serial number anywhere on it. That plate was replaced. It's a nice looking plate. It's only about tenner for that though. If you had a Fender, would you take off the Fender plate which says Fender across it? I don't know. There's also no serial number on the neck. So the final thing that I can do to see if this is going to be a Fender or not is take the neck off and see if there's a serial number on the back of the neck, where they sometimes hide serial numbers. If I'm wrong, let me know, guys and gals, because I am always right, but I'm not always right. But it has a few hallmarks that are making me suspicious. The neck might be slightly thicker than a Fender's, so it's hard to know until we get some proof or evidence. If it is a fake Fender, it's an excellent one. I'm going to do another search just to see if there's a Fender that they sell with Goto. What the hell? How do you pronounce that? Right, that's them almost off. Notice I'm using the proper size screwdriver on this because you don't want screws with damaged heads, because that looks awful. And it'll catch on the artist's clothes as well if it was rusty. And so why? Oh, it's just stiff. All Parts LIC by Fender. I'll look that up. All right, I'll come back to you. Okay, I have come to a conclusion. Or is that a conclusion? All Parts is the official. If you want spare parts for Fender, you can go buy them in All Parts LIC. So that's an official replacement neck by Fender. Right, so hence the reason why they got stickers on it, because it is an official neck. But what I think has been done here is they bought the body. You can buy these bodies online, which are very good. You'll find them online, the Candy Apple Red, and they built the guitar. But I think I'm right in saying that this is a hand-built guitar made with parts. If you think I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong. And I haven't tested the electrics yet anyway. I'll tell you what, let's test the electrics now. Let's just put the electrics in. Why do you keep your amplifier on when you plug it in? Because I want to know what crackles. That's pretty good. It's a little bit loose. I need to tighten that up. Right, okay. Middle pickup. Front two pickups. Front pickup. Middle pickup. Humbucker. Right, so that's all working. Let me just test the volumes. Dirty. Yeah, the tones. Yeah, the tone pots are working. So, it feels like good pickups. So I don't think it's a cheap copy by any means, but I don't think it's a from the factory Fender. All right, I'll get it all tidied up, cleaned up, and do the setup. Okay, as we've come this far, let's just see what's inside it. And I probably will take off the front plate too, just to see what's inside it. Is it to prove myself right, or is it just to find out? I think it's just to find out. I'm not that. This is sort of like a mystery. The excitement is building on the other side, isn't it, of the camera there? You're just so excited to know whether there's a real Fender or not. Although probably many of you have made up your mind that it's a hand-built Fender with all the bits and pieces built from different places. But I'm sure, let's see if we can find any. No, nothing in there. There's nothing in there that's telling you anything. There's no markings for Fender on these tremolo pieces either. I think Fender does have that on some, not all. And would you take the neck must have come without tuners, so you wouldn't take off Fender tuners and put on. Fender tuners are about 80 quid. These are about 50 quid. They're not but cheap, but the Fender tuners are about 80 quid. And would you take off Fender tuners if you had them to replace them with a cheaper set? I don't think so. Okay, minor evidence to my thought that it's hand built is that the holes, the screws, some of them went in that way, some of them went in that way, some of them went straight. And Fender, I know, is very accurate with their holes and where they put their holes and things like that. So the face plate would have went on directly. I can't see what's in here. Let me just see. Right. Well, it's not the cheapest of setups here, but there's no names on it. A B on it. A B, which doesn't mean a lot. Let me get my other glasses and have a good look. Double glasses. There's a piece of tape in there that I think had writing on it someday, but the writing's all gone. Yeah, the writing's all gone off it. Now it's they've done a good job. It's actually not a bad. Those are good pickups, and these are all good switches, good quality ones. 51993 1745. So it's not your cheapo, the ones you can buy off the thing for 15 quid. These look pretty good. TSC capacitor, and I like the quality of the wiring. Okay, I'll put it all back together and we'll come to a conclusion. It's definitely not a Fender, but we'll come back together with a conclusion. All right. Well, I only did about 15 minutes of research and I didn't want to spend an awful lot of time on it. It's the pickups are very good quality. They really are better than the average quality. They're not Fender, because all Fender pickups have the markings on them. Genuine Fender pickups are, but they're not cheap. They're really good quality. If you wanted to buy one of those from Fender, they're 225 quid each. So I think he's gone down the route, whoever built this, And I think that that tape inside probably had his name on it, but it's worn away over the years. But I think he's done a very good, not a cheap job, because, you see, there's a screw going in crooked. And that just sends me a message that it's not quite a Fender. Anyway, those tuners are about 40-50 quid. The neck's about 120. The pickups and the body would be about 250. So you're coming close to the price of a Fender by the time you put it all together. But perhaps, and I can't find anything about them, but perhaps these pickups are really, really good, and we'll soon find out whenever all these things are not going in the way I want them. I just want to screw them in. But it's good quality, but not a Fender. I thought maybe for a moment there was a Mexican Fender, but even Mexican Fenders have, just for a moment, but even Mexican Fenders have serial numbers and things like that there. And it looks like a nice guitar. I'll tell you at the end whether it's as good as. In my humble opinion. In my humble opinion. I could have had this done, but you insisted on finding out whether it was a real Fender or not. You insisted. Actually, I was being nosy because I wanted to find out. The frets are quite dirty. I'll have to find out what they're like. Even this, although they are a genuine part Fender, so they should be quite good. See, it's going in crooked, but it's turning up straight at the end. That's all right. The tone, this is different than those three. Those two have got gold writing on them. This one's got slightly pale green writing on it. I think that's been replaced at some stage. Just the plastic maybe, not the rest. Okay, that's the screws back down on. Alright, take a break, get a can of Coke. Well, this is a strange one. There's nothing exciting that I'm going to be doing to this guitar. I'm going to polish the frets. I'm going to use a fret eraser, and I'm just going to clean them and polish them because I've tested them and they're all perfectly level, and the neck is the perfect shape that I like it. The only thing I'm going to do is polish these, set up the pickup height, maybe do the intonation, things that you've all seen before. So I think that the most important thing, interesting thing about this is it a Fender or is it not a Fender? But I don't think it's a Fender. Correct me if I'm wrong, will you? Because I don't want to give the owner the bad news that he hasn't got a Fender. He sort of got a Fender in a way. But anyway, I'm just going to do this. I'm not even sure whether it's worth my recording, me polishing frets and doing everything. So I'll probably not even speed this up, but I'll come back to you whenever I'm ready to just play a little sample tune on it. I'll just let you see how the polishing, I don't actually think you can see how the polishing affects it. I can just polish that one. Let me just see, is that on the camera? Yeah, I'm just going to polish the one, let you see it. These are fret erasers. They're actually just like a very, very, very fine sandpaper. And obviously I'm not going to use a very fine sandpaper on this because it has a glossed neck. If you look carefully, you'll see there that that's a shiny neck. And if you use sandpaper on that, and then you'd have to cover every fret with tape to make sure you didn't do it. But that fret there is done, where my thumb is. It's polished. It's a little bit shinier and cleaner. I can see it on it. I don't know whether you can see it on it, but it is a little bit shinier and cleaner. I'm going to actually go through it with there's several varieties of There's medium and fine. Medium and fine. I'm going to use medium on it next, and then fine. These are called calico erasers, so I'll just use medium on it, pressing fairly firmly, because they're like a very fine sandpaper, right? And then I'll use the fine. And let's just see, has that made any difference using, I haven't used these ones before, these erasers, but that's the one. It's nice, it's nice. I don't think you can see the difference. Maybe you can, actually you can see it quite obviously there, and it's much shinier and clean. Okay, but I'm not going to let the camera run for that all. I'll come back to you when I'm ready to play it. I'll give you an overview of everything and how it looks. All right? Ciao. Just to let you see the nice, shiny, beautiful frets and the lovely, clean fretboard. This is not a brand new guitar, by the way, because it's been played for several years. But it's a lovely looking neck, and it's really shiny and nicely polished now. Haven't had to do much to it. Bit disappointed because I just putting these strings on and discover they're all rusted. They're all brand new set of strings, all rusted. They were donated to me, which is good, but sadly they're going to have to go in the bin because they're a mess. They're Ernie Ball custom gauge, but they're no use to anybody, because they're worse than the strings I was putting on. All right, cheers. You see it now that it's all set up. Excuse my shadows, but if I had this guitar, I would get rid of those knobs and put better knobs on them. I don't like them at all because they're different shades and the quality is just not good enough for this kind of guitar. This guitar is a good guitar, and the neck's beautiful now, as you can see. Plays beautifully. And it's all looking nice and ship shape. How's that? Okay, let you see it all. There's nothing to show you on the back because there's nothing done on the back that's damaged, but everything's working 100% now. It's going home. Okay, that's it, all nicely ready. So it plays beautifully, you know. I adjusted the intonation, it was way out. I also adjusted the heights, it was way up too high, and it's given me a nice little sort of player now. Don't expect any Segovia from me. I'm just letting you see the demo. Put it on the sharp. And then the softer side. Don't forget, it's not going to be perfectly in tune yet. The strings are still settling down. Right, it's going home to its daddy now. Lovely guitar, but not a Fender. All right.